Hi guys, it's Dr. Pam and I'm here with today's burning question about water. Kendra asks, with all the different types of water on the market, how do you know what's best for you and your pet? And the answer might really surprise you. Water actually has a very high toxic burden, and we take it for granted. We don't even really think about it in this country. We have plenty of it, and we assume that it's clean and fresh and contaminant free. Not so much. So there's different types of water. There's groundwater, bottled water, RO water, and spring water, the big ones I'm going to talk about today. But water in and of itself is absolutely essential in the body. You have to have it. You can live without food. You can't live without water. So water is a very important subject. So I really recommend that you listen closely and think about what we're saying today, okay? Groundwater comes from the ground. So consequently, it leaches things from the ground. And when it does so and comes into the water supply that comes through your pipes, they add additives to it to change things up a little bit. So you have chemical additives that might take care of some bacteria, may or may not. There can be fungus in your water, there can be bacteria, there can be lead that we've talked about and heavy metals from the environment. One of the other things that we don't talk about much is hexavalent chromium, which is a cancer-causing product, outlawed in Europe, but we still use it. So groundwater, note to self, don't drink it. Bottled water, the bottled water that we're talking about has been since the 1980s, okay? And we started bottling water in plastic bottles and mass marketing it. That water, 45% of it is actually groundwater. Let me repeat that. 45% of the bottled water that you drink is actually groundwater. No different than the water that you get out of the ground. The challenge is that they add additives to it, chemical additives, to make it taste fresh. They add additives to kill bacteria. So there's all these chemical additives that are added to it in order to actually throw it in a bottle and send it out. And then you add on to that the bottled water industry uses mostly plastic bottles. Plastic leaches chemicals into whatever it holds, whether it's milk, whether it's yogurt, whether it's water, it doesn't matter. It leaches chemicals into that particular fluid. So plastic, when it's left out on the tarmac or en route in a truck or in a warehouse, will leach more chemicals the warmer it gets. So that creates a problem. Okay. So then we move on to RO water. Now RO water is a reverse osmosis water, and you can purchase an RO unit. There's 2 membrane RO units, there's 3 and 4. And this is where money matters. Where you put your money matters, because the better units have the higher number of membranes that it goes through. And the EWG, Environmental Working Group, absolutely loves RO water from a contamination standpoint because it removes everything. It is awesome. So you get a really high quality, do your due diligence here, RO unit. It removes everything. From a medicinal standpoint, from medicinal, functional medicine, holistic, it's not a favorite among the holistic practitioners and the functional medicine practitioners, and here's why. It removes everything toxic, but it removes everything that's useful for the body. So all the trace minerals that you used to get in water and all the things along that line, you don't get. So from a contaminant standpoint, it's the gold standard. From a health standpoint, not so much. So then we move to spring water. Now spring water is the gold standard for health. It has the good minerals that we need in it. It has everything that we want to actually give our body what it needs in order to function well. The challenges with spring water are twofold. And you might already be thinking it, hey Dr. Pam, it comes from the ground. That's true. So what matters when you have, when you have spring water is the land that exists around the well, right? So you have to make sure that that land is untouched by the industrial footprint. And if it is, that's going to leach in and it's going to affect your spring water. Okay, so that makes sense, right? So the other thing is plastic bottles. Most of the spring waters that we know about come in plastic bottles, so you have that whole plastics effect. So there's a big challenge right there. You have these 4 things. What do you do? It's all confusing. There is one solution, and that's Mountain Valley spring water. Mountain Valley spring water is bottled in Arkansas in the Ouachita Mountains. It's on a parcel of land that is company owned and protected and has been since 1871. It's 2,000 acres. So it really protects the land around the spring. In addition, they do extensive testing on this water. They send it out for third-party assays, which you know is my favorite because it creates accountability. They send it to the Arkansas Department of Health, and that's done on a weekly basis. They internally test daily just to keep ahead of it, but they send it out to create the accountability that we love, all right? In addition, they're members of the National Sanitation Foundation, and that company does spot checks on their plant, and they test for over 160 different chemical, inorganic, radiologic, and other types of like microbial type of contaminants. So they're the bomb. They also bottle in, that was a drum roll by the way, green glass. So their preferential type of bottling is in glass. They will offer plastics for the consumers who just have to have it for travel, but their preference is glass. It is worth the money. That's the first thing you're going to ask me. Is it worth it? Yes, yes, yes. And you think about it, all the things that we do and all the function that we have is driven by the use of water. So think about that. I love Mountain Valley Spring Water, and so should you. You can take that to the health thing. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.